Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That's me, the babbler. That's me on this evolutionary high of a spree that is being triggered. I'm being triggered. And Spirit said there will be days like this where I'm to be triggered and I am to share in my own process of this digest of this trigger fest. Last night I wrote on my blog, enchantingbabble.blogspot.com, this whole big high priestess automatic writing thing, and in between the layerings of some of the writing there, I said love would be what triggers most of us awake, or to shake us, to wake us, to bake us. It's usually some type of interest that we feel or have towards another that skyrockets this ignite that takes flight within our entire being. It's all these things that we be feeling, that be fleeing. But during this unconditioning process, of this conditioning process, these triggers that come, not bad, like, it's not meant to be, everything received, so like, everything to be received as this negative thing, like, absolutely not. But triggers are helpful in the sense that they allow us to put into perspective our own alignments. And it also allows us to see the maybe perceived unhealthy parts that exist within me, that no longer need to be, or should have never been to begin with, especially in love. First things first, define, what love means for you, what is represented by you, and all the inner dynamics that goes into that too, and the process of unconditional love, that if we really broke down, even just to get into the essence of, this essence of unconditional love in every kind of way, it's one of the most lightest of energies that would be felt when experienced. To love unconditionally is to love without condition. It's to love openly. It's to be free. To not project onto me, onto thee, onto he, onto she. It's to accept and unconditionally love and be open without any animosity, without any manipulation or any hard feelings or any ill feelings or any hurts to be hidden or creeping in the surface when we love this way. To partake in a conscious leveling of intimacy with another. Sure, it will feel like a double-edged sword, especially when there's a lot of undercurrents that will be triggered to be purged that do not align, fit, match, alchemize with the consciousness living part that is of our nows. So there's going to be a lot of things that from our upbringing, from our conditioning, from our habitual ways of behavioral ways of doing things, and 555 it is now in this conscious effort, this lifestyle, that it's like recalibrating our own systems, and this effort that we make to partake in this shake, wake, bake, kind of living. There's processes to that too. And Spirit said there would be days like this. Because even I, to be shaken up, to question, to feel, to know that, to grow, I have to let a lot of things go. And usually they come up when we are made to feel the type of way. Because then we have to address those feelings that are reactive in every kind of way that comes up first to take and partake on this center stage, to be the actor or actress that responds to whatever is occurring. And sometimes that actor or actress that shows up at first is one of the many understudies, mask, parts, aspects, not the lead that comes out to play. It's part of the conditioning ways of behavioral that can be societal, familial, family, like instigated and rooted into our physique, that causes us to behave in such ways that may not align with our now conscious ways. So to think of it in this kind of way, to be open to healthy, intimate partnerships, to be open to healthy, intimate friendships, to be open to healthy, intimate, loving, soul companions that you allow to be a part of your life. To do so in this kind of consciousness lifestyle of a vibe, there's a lot that goes on inside, inner work, I stay single for very long periods of time because I'd rather be, like, to take me out of my to take me out of this place that is of peace, that is absolutely beautiful for me, to be my own best companion in every kind of way. It doesn't take away from the intimacy that one might feel like they need or they crave, but to understand and understand that way that comes through a lot of conditioned views too, to get to the bottom of that kind of root, and then to be complete all in one on your own and yourself, and then to be open without closing your doors to the possibility or the potential that intimate, healthy relations can take place. There's a lot of conscious communication with oneself that you must partake in. And so to feel that way, to vibe that way, to know that a relationship is not something that completes me, but it's something that that I want. Like, we all want to some degree, but to understand and understand and overstand the reasons of why we think we command or want these kind of things, to understand it even just from a scientific perspective of just our own bodily mechanisms that create certain chemical substances or certain kind of feels to invigorate and spin our own wheels, that these things are parts too of the deal, but it's a piece that makes up a whole, because too we have the external and all the things that happen on the outside too that contribute to how we respond in every kind of way. There's so many factors that play into the way that we engage with others in our lives, and to be conscious to really is to feel such a feeling of being alive, to be present, and then to constantly, as you continue to evolutionize into your own line, to be met with the synchronicity of the beautiful relationships that you form in these states of evolutionary parts of levelings that you're currently on, to meet with people, to meet with other souls, to find your soul tribe, to vibe with your soul tribe, to forge such friendships, to make such friendships, to find your lovers, and to embark on those journeys and these discoveries that are so rather wow, amazing, to be able to experience such pleasantries with others, finally at this state of alignment. It doesn't mean that triggers are not part of are not going to come up even in these most harmonious of relationships, because sometimes we don't know good feelings. We don't know how to maintain good feelings without sabotaging it with tainted, painted, conditioned inception-like behaviors, views, things that we've been fed since we've come out of, the womb. So, there's so many things that play a part in everything. Seriously. So, to experience authentic and genuine intimacies and partnerships with people that are a part of your, I don't like to give labels or names, but, we're just going for the identification purposes of this game to say, like, our soulmates, and whether, how you embark on your relations with your soulmates. Soulmates are people that you resonate with, that you have some kind of kinship with, and that you may have had past life kind of relations with, whatever relationship you may have had, but there's a familiarity between these souls that are like connecting and vibing. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on here, but they don't let you go. Thank you. Oh, I see. There's an accident. Okay. So, yeah. So when new things come into life between these soulmates that you have, these kind of now new relationships, partnerships with in your life, it's going to bring up certain kind of preconditioning views that do not align with whatever it is that's being experienced between the two. It's just like lovers. This idea of this, beloved being mine and only mine, or, you belonging to only one, and all this kind of stuff. Just even the notion comes from a conditioning mindset of something that has been spoon-fed to us outside of the womb, buried in some tomb. We got the news of lovers, you have the story of like even just like these twin flames, soulmates, karmic relationships, all these names of these things that we give to these experiences and these feels that we think that are so ever so real. I'm not knocking it, trust me when I say that I'm being triggered today. Okay? In every kind of way. Because the unhealthy version of me that would have myself to think about the labeling and the notion of relationships and intimacies, and how our conditioning will leave us feeling dissatisfied when partners are being honest all of the time, while being open to the experience without defining it. And then rationalizing or knowing this from a soul level to be truth. But then that human side of you that's like, I need to know what this is too. To not be fair to the experience that is so rare, that's being handled with absolute care. But the human side that operates from this monkey hive of a mind that needs definition and labels to be able to feel like that's something that'll sustain or make heavy or solidify something into the brain when you have a labeling of something, a numbing like Novocaine. I wrote about Novocaine last night too. Asked for us to dive into at this time. It's about the disharmony that exists within many of our collective hives, about this idealization of lovers sublime at an all-time high, to say that one must first find the love inside themselves before being able to fully receive the lover that they so desire and seek and breed and need and want and dream of, to hold, behold, to find that lover in oneself. That is going to be the gift of this health, this wealth, this stealth of abundance that is going to show itself through the king and emperor. That, I'm just going through the masculine opposite for me, because that is, me speaking from the feminine divine within me to he wasn't supposed to do. And I wasn't paying attention. Go, and I will continue this later on. But what we're being asked to meditate on, each for ourselves, is the sense of completion, the sense of labeling and definition. The Lady of Faith kept coming up for me, and it was like, well, what are you questioning? Do you not see the love felt? The love being shared? The support being given? The pleasure being discovered and unfolding, the trust that's forming, the support system that is like glowing. The pride that wants to tone itself down a notch. Because pride is the juggler. It's juggling one too many things. It's gonna go. Card for the road. One card for the road. I got this card earlier today too. The joy of the future. The joy of the future. The walnut of thought. The nutty brains that can overthink things into polluted polluted stains. But the joy of the future lies in your fields. For your fields is everything that's going to feel so real. Sealing your deals on these fields. The joy of the future comes in from your own beliefs, your own faiths, your own systems, your own choices that you make. The joy of the future is everything that you inevitably seek, desire, want. But who does not seek joy? To be able to laugh, to be able to feel joy, to experience joy, to have joy with another. What does the joy of the future look like for you? Where there's so many things that are aligning into your vibing that are rhyming. Make sure joy is in the mix too. The joy of the future is truly up to you in all that you do, or the choices that you make, the way that you choose to deliberate, to think. What does the joy of the future look like for you? Who is part of the joy of your own future? What are the kind of things you are doing in the joy of your own future? What people are in your life? What kind of experiences are you experiencing in the joy of your own future? What kind of relationships do you have? What kind of relationship are you in with yourself in the joy of your own future? What are the plans of the joy of your future? What are the plans of the joy of your nows? Because for your nows is what creates your future. What gratitude list do you have that is bringing you the most amount of joy in your now that solidifies your future? For this will be your clean up passage into the joy of your own future.